What's up? What's up? What's Gonna give y'all a little bit of that Martin action. But hello good people, welcome to season 4 of Open Pot Surgery. It is about to go down, and I am your gracious host, Z, you dig? Ignore the dog barking, ain't nothing I can do about it. They just let the dog out. I would normally have my earbuds in so y'all can hear me clearer than now, but if I put the earbuds in and you hear me clearer, that means you're going to hear the dog extremely clear. And that gonna make for a good live. So with that being said, what's up, Miss Piano Tech in the building, Fair Ceramics. Look for Lou, I can't pronounce that, SD Plant, like how y'all doing? Also, this will be going up on YouTube, so like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh man, it just sounded a little corny saying that because I've heard it so many times. Anywho, I will be joined today by two great gentlemen, one by the name of Ryan, one by the name of Bill. Ryan is Florida Fat Plants. He'll be hopping in a second. And Bill is Spines and Clay, who has some of the dopest vessels, by the way, this side of the Mississippi. And I'll show you one. I've been struggling to figure out what I'm going to put in this one because the plant that I had in it, it kicked the bucket on me. But this is one of Bill's. Let's see if we can get a little sunlight on it. Oh no, because the sun facing the other direction. But this is one of Bill's facilities right here. Look how dope it is. Let me. We got Ryan here, and then hopefully, when Bill does hop in, he'll be able to release some of those dope vessels to the world. Why is this not accepting Ryan? Trying to accept your request, brother. It's acting weird. Let me try to bring you in another way. Come on, y'all bear with me. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go.
What's up, man?
What's up, player?
You hear me all right?
I hear you fine and dandy. I have a lifetime plant guarantee. If a plant dies in one of my pots,
Don't test me. Don't test me.
Don't test me. No, it ain't had nothing to do with your pot. Everything to do with the plant, and I gave it water at the wrong time.
You were just showing off that pot from Bill.
Hey, that pot is very, very, very fire.
Yeah, I love this thing because it's linked at the bottom too. I don't have to worry about the flex. You'll see. This is the plant we're doing today, but it's a little wonky.
Hey, it looked like 2 legs.
It does. It's going to look even better than this thing. I sent Bill a DM earlier right after I got this, and I said, hey, good luck to Florida desert rose growers because my shit's going to be winning shows soon.
This is what we're rolling with today on my end. I'll be repotting this lovely Wales Fin sansevieria, and not just one. I'm going to be joining 2 together inside of 1 pot. Normally, people will cut the rhizome and single these out, but I'm going to keep mine together because I'm trying to get a nice good grouping going of these sansevierias.
You got sansevieria. That's what is that? Masoniana. This one on the right, the big whale tail, and then the other one's Zeylanica, I believe.
Yeah. And you could tell by the dark, the Masonia has more of a dark leaf complexion.
I'm trying to figure out this camera right now. I haven't done a live in a while. Sorry, guys. It's a little strange for me. I'm not going to lie. I just poured a beer just to ease the nerves a little bit.
No, you all good. It's been a minute since I did one of these too. But it come right back like it never left.
Yes, sir. Hey, for those of you guys that don't know this, Z and I used to do this all the time. In fact, we were part of a weekly one. Damn, was that
Diana of Sample House made this facility. This is a hand hand sculpted pot, one of a kind, one of one. You won't find it nowhere else. I wanted to go for those tribal patterns on it. It's so dope. I used to have a tropical plant inside of this pot, but it perished many moons ago because I was getting too much sunlight in my living room. It cooked the plant to death. This particular pot now will house these whale fins. I'm going, because of how deep this pot is, I won't be able to show you my soil method, but I'll be explaining it as we go along. And then I'm also going to have Ryan go over his particular soil method that he likes to use, that he likes to use, that's tried and true for his desert roses. Because I don't know if y'all seen him. If you're not following him, you need to shoot him a follow and check out his page. I'm telling you, he got some of the dopest plants this side of the Mississippi. Straight like that. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna let you take it away on your end and break down for the people how this plant came to be, what it went through. You know, and then introduce yourself and give them a little bit about you.
Absolutely. I'm Ryan, Florida Fat Plants. Fat plants is a term used down in South Africa commonly for these things. I was lucky enough to get the handle. A lot of people don't know what that means or think I'm just into some weird shit, but no, it's about fat plants. In fact, I'll show you exactly what I mean with a couple of pots. These came from Z, actually. Remember that one?
Yes.
So here's the fat plant part of my name. This is a caudex, caudiciform. They are succulents. Most of these are found in South Africa, all the way up to Saudi Arabia, Yemen, all over the place. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. They do produce flowers. You got one coming in right here. But for me, I love elevating the base. I love being able to see this. Most people down here grow these berries. You just see branches and flowers. I don't understand that method. They do quite well. I grow them in small pots for control reasons. We are an incredibly humid and wet environment at times. So keeping them in small vessels like this allows me to really blow out the booty. I'm set in my ways. I've been growing for 14 plus years with this plant. Half of that up in Ohio, half of that down here in Florida where I get a hell of a lot more growth. Z, you remember this one?
Come on, man. You know I remember that one.
All right, this is another one I picked up from Z. He does these plant and pot auctions all the time. A lot of thrifting stuff. This little gold bacilli.
That pot really
kind of matching the spines.
Yeah, I was just going to say that pot, man, it just reflects the spine so well.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of gold, but it pops with the silver. I don't know why. It's kind of color clashing, but it works well. But yeah, I pulled out a couple of pots that you've sent to me in the past just to start this thing off. Remember the Versace pot?
Versace?
Yeah.
Which one is that? I don't know. I just got so many pots. I gotta. Oh, man. That beauty right there. That porcelain beauty right there. I remember exactly where I got that pot from too.
What's the plant attached to this one?
It looks like what is that? Adenium. No, that's a Dorstenia. Is that a Fotita?
No, it's Gigas.
That's a Gigas?
It's a Gigas. Yeah, she's still waking up. Look at the hypanthoides on here. So this is their flower structure up top. They can launch seeds in 3 meters in any direction with like hydraulic action.
That's so crazy. It looked like a satellite.
Yeah, it's a lily pad structure. It's very unique to Dorstenia. All Dorstenia flower the same way. It's called hypanthoides. And she's just beefing out right now, but this can get thicker than those desert roses that I grew.
When did you get a Gigas? I don't even remember.
I've had this since before I knew you.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that explains it, man. I promise you, I don't remember you showing that plant off before.
Not often though. She's not too happy right now. I think I got her in a little bit too much sun.
Yeah, they can get a little disturbed. I had to throw my shade cloth out because my desert roses are not leafing up at my expectation.
Yeah, we've had so many spider mites down here, so we're in a record drought now, second summer in a row. I'm used to nightly rains. Every evening around 4 p.m. we usually get rains. That hasn't happened for 2 years, so I have spider mites showing up all over the yard. I have fire ants showing up all over the yard, and the oleander caterpillars are terrible. Like, I'm battling pests down here. They're easy pests to take care of, but it's never been like this for me in my yard. My yard's always worked with me really, really well. But yeah.
All right. So tell them about the plant, man, and how it came to be, and how this surgery come about.
Sounds good. So this is a Adenium swazicum. It's a little bit more of a rare variety. You can tell from the color of the flower. It's a nice soft pink. You can see right here, this was just an attachment to a larger caudex. I damaged this thing while repotting it for a client, decided to just cut it away. And I threw it in the carport and forgot about it. I'm not kidding. A couple weeks. Lauren walked by it one day. I have all my shipping material in the carport. And she said, hey, that thing's sprouting. And I said, what? Which happens, even in the shade, bare root, everything. So I decided to work with her. I think it's about 2 years old. I threw it into 2 7-inch Cabo-style pots. I did some root pruning last night to make it work in the new one. But yeah, if you can imagine the big caudexes on this thing, this was just attached to the side of one of those bases. Cut it off. Now I have a new plant. She's slightly more susceptible to rot than most because she is a cutting and she hasn't been all that well established. So Bill was showing some stuff at Spines and Clay, some of the new pot releases that he shows, and he threw out something like this. And I said, hey, buddy, I got a perfect plant I think would work for that. Do you think you could work with my dimensions? Sent him a picture of this plant with the ruler next to it, kind of gave him an idea. I'm not kidding you. By the end of that same evening, he threw this pot together. The same fucking day I asked.
Oh, man, Bill, the master at work, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's like, hey, show me a ruler, whatever. So we got some loose dimensions together. It's a little wonky because this one's longer than this one. Nothing I can do about it, but we'll backfill with soil. I did surgery to these roots last night. Let me show you an example where I made a pretty big cut right there. See that?
Yeah.
So that was going to prevent me from making this fit into this pot. So I sliced that off, and then I doused it with cinnamon. I like cinnamon because of its mild antibacterial, antifungal properties. It's the only way I'm going to be able to make that work. I usually cut at these, spray them bare root, and wait a few days to a week. That can't happen. I had a very busy week at work last night. I broke the pot open last night, treated these, and we're going to be going straight into this. I'm not going to water this thing in. It's the exact opposite of what you would do with most tropicals. I'm going to let this thing try to freak out, send feeder roots out searching for moisture, and I'm going to get a much better established root base. This is not what you do with tropical plants. Anything else down here in Florida, you water in heavily. Do not do that for your succulents. I promise you'll get a better start with the plant. It's back-asswards to what you think, but let them send feeder roots out. You got to play with these a little bit, stress them out, get them to work for you. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. So now, with that being said, people, you got a little backdrop on how the plant came to be, the pot. If you have any questions, because we're finna start potting up these plants now. If you have questions, drop them in the comment section. Like I said, this will be going out on YouTube, so we'll be able to have a history to go back to so that other people can hear the questions and get them answered at the same time. So if you have questions, hit that question sticker at the bottom of your screen, type your question in, I'll bring it up as they come in, and then we can answer questions while we're in the process of potting them up. That pot right there is extremely fire as well. You see the tribal markings all over it. You dig?
Who's that one from, Z?
Come on, man, stop playing. Don't make me go to the Bay Area on you.
Shanisha Bay Plant Bay. Thank you so much for this one.
That's right. Don't make me go.
Pot, nice little one. I threw together a bunch of things. Brought some stuff to show. You want to see the coolest $1.99 plant ever?
Let's check it out. Let me see. And again, people, I will be potting up in this Diana Hannah one-of-a-kind sample house pot, and I will be potting up these whale fins. I'm finna start potting this up while he's showing off some of his glory.
All right, so this is a $1.99 annual known as Vinca. It's heavily variegated. I've handled tens of thousands of these in my life. Rarely
Run that back one time.
variegation.
What's the name of it?
Vinca, V-I-N-C-A.
Vinca?
Vinca, yes.
Oh. Never heard of it.
Surprisingly, she's also in the oleander family, like most of what I collect, the pachypodiums, the desert roses, everything the plumeria, the Pococyaneceae, dogbane family.
Okay.
It has to do with flower structure, predominantly white sap, incredibly toxic to everything, humans and animals. But yeah, this is $1.90. I don't know, can you guys really even see the color there?
Yeah, no, I see the variegation popping hard on there. I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, one of my favorite $1.99 plants I've ever found in my life.
Hey, real quick, also talk to them about what the particular type of soil amendment you like to use for your pot-ups.
We'll do. All right, so I'm a firm. Everybody does. You can ask 10 different growers, 10 different things. They'll get 10 different answers. When it comes to soil, for me, I'm really more about light, temperature, and water, keeping that holy trinity in check. So light, temp, water over here, and those move together. I mean, it's proportional. Everything I do is about keeping that in check, and I look at soil as an amendment to keep that happy. If you nail down light, temperature, and water, I promise you, it's an easier way to approach things, but the soil part is kind of keeping that check, that happy. I love the gritty soil. I love the stuff that Z's using. My pachypodiums use it all the time. For these guys, I find it to be a little gritty for my desert roses, so I use more of a basic mixture, I guess you would say. I love cactus. What's that?
No, I was going to say now, through my trial and error of putting the desert roses in the herbs and spices, I've been noticing as well that it's a little too gritty for them. So as I've been repotting mine, I've been making a more water retaining version of the herbs and spices so that the roots could be a little bit more happier as they grow. I have noticed that. So people, when I say that to say, don't be afraid to have trial and error, because something you might have heard me say 2 years ago might change today, given my trial and my errors, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, and where you're located regionally here in the United States, like we couldn't get what you and I do with this stuff is different than what Zap's doing, Zach Tropicals down there in Arizona. He loves the grittier mix, and his stuff thrives better than mine.
Definitely.
It's about that location, and I mean, even houses down the street, if we get talking about microclimates, my yard's different from the guy down the street because of my wind, because of the access to the canal nearby, all that. I mean, there's a million plants that are growing over on the east coast of Florida that don't do quite as well on the west coast of Florida because our Gulf breeze is so much hotter than the Atlantic breeze on the other side. But there's a million different reasons for the grittiness. The pachypodiums absolutely thrive in it. These guys, I mean, they look like massive, gnarly roots, but they're really kind of delicate. I mean, that's why it takes so much time in between repotting these, abbreviated for this session. But yeah, so I'm going to use cactus, palm, and citrus soil usually. The Miracle Grow stuff works fine for me, but I'm adding a little bit of Fertilome products, and I'm always adding 10 to 20% perlite. Perlite is this white shit that you see inside of these mixes. It's essentially expanded rock. It doesn't have much to it. Be careful breathing this stuff in. It is carcinogenic, and it will turn your soil slightly alkaline. You guys got to remember that, especially if you're trying to add drainage to a plant that's acid loving. For example, an azalea or a gardenia. Those are two acid loving plants. You got to think about the pH. It's kind of a different level, but yeah, there's a little bit of everything going in here. Some Fertilome, which is going to be barkless completely. Some of my cactus, palm, and citrus soil. Some perlite. I just want it well draining. I'll do the rest. The container size tells me a lot, and how I treat these things. We water when bone dry. I'm a lazy grower. There's a reason why I grow these. I work 40 hours a week at a nursery. There ain't much easier to take care of than Adenium. Water when dry, blaze them in sun, and that's how I do them. But you can't do it like that everywhere. We have a wet and humid environment. Again, my guys down in Arizona, some of their stuff has to be overshaded.
Very true. Very true. So again, we're about to get started potting up these babies. Y'all will see the finished product soon. Got these gorgeous whale fins going into this lovely Aztec pot. And once we're done, we're going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Brother Bill of Spines and Clay, so he can give y'all some of this ceramic talk. and give y'all, you know, maybe a little peep show of what he got coming on the horizon.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna back this camera up a little bit, and I'll start potting this if that's all right with you.
Yeah, no, that's good. And again, people, if you have questions, I'll turn this down as much as I can so you can see what I'm doing. If you have questions, hit the question mark sticker down at the bottom on the right. Type your questions in, and we can get any questions you have answered quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, whale fins tend to grow from rhizomes. I want you to, once I move these roots out the way, you'll see what I'm talking about, kind of like a potato.
Turn this
Yes,
camera right.
I'll give you a nice little view. You see here, this one kind of slant down here. Stalk comes out of the rhizomes, and then over time, as it shoots out new roots and new rhizomes, we'll get more foliage coming out of these rhizomes, just like potatoes.
Hey, you want to talk about those rhizomes for a minute? So a lot of times, snake plants are a prime example. Agaves do it also. So that stolon or rhizome will then dive down 12 to 16 inches if given the opportunity. And the reasons they do it, it's an evolutionary adaptation because of wildfire-prone areas. Mother plants can get wiped out by the fires. Babies are shooting down first before re-emerging through the nitrogen-rich soil created by the wildfire. Isn't that fucking crazy? You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just talking about the wildfire adaptation. Those rhizomes are oftentimes because of wildfire-prone areas where they're from.
Okay.
So literally, fires can wipe out the mother plants. Rhizomes have dove deep, and now they re-emerge through that nitrogen-rich soil there.
That's beautiful.
Tanny's here. Hello, Tanny. I am Aloe Lover.
What's going on, Tanny?
All right. Turn this thing back down a little bit.
Yeah, no, you all good. You all good. Again, as I whisper between the things, if you have any questions, type them in the comment section. Not the comment section. Hit the question mark sticker so I'll see it pop up.
So I have two different angles of this pot. I like this as being my front facing. Kind of always choose a focal point. I know Z's doing that too. I don't know if we always discuss it, but we're kind of always choosing a viewing angle, not unlike those that are creating bonsais.
Yeah, I'll show you exactly how I'm doing. So here's my soil mixture that I'm using. This is more water retaining, and I have a lot of fur. I got a lot of chunky fir bark in here. I got some pumice, as you can see. The rest you'll have to leave up to imagination because no one gets the recipe to the herbs and spices. But this is
not even me.
Not even me. Yeah, not even Ryan. But I do have some more water retaining soil amendments in here so that it'll keep these whale fins happy but well drained at the same time. I have the rhizomes. I want to say about, if I put my thumb here, we probably going about 3 to 4 inches beneath the soil, what will be the soil line level. Now, I may end up lifting it up slightly, but not much more than that. I do, as you can see, it's some new growth coming here. Once this is buried, it'll start to shoot its way up to the top.
Absolutely. Tell them what could potentially happen to that pot if you leave that in there too long.
Don't say that. I already been thinking about it before I even started. I was like, I'm hoping, I believe Diana made this with the toughest of clay, because if I don't repot this in enough time, when the time comes, it will crack this pot.
Yeah, they are pot busters for sure.
This pot was it was rather expensive.
They're not cheap. I've got a couple up front. Big one too. She threw me a while ago. The plant's so big though, I'm not gonna drag it around. My back's hurting a little bit right now.
I think I'll be able to leave it in here for about a good 2-3 years. Hopefully, we'll see.
I've got that tree style adenium up front that was started in a 1 liter bottle to try to create that tree trunk like one, and she's thriving in there. If I leave it in there much longer, she probably will break that pot. So sansevieria, notorious for pot busting, can happen with the adeniums. I mean, it'll blow through a ceramic pot quite easily if you give them too much time.
I knew you was gonna say something. I was like, watch you say something about these rhizomes being in this pot. I started to go with terracotta, man. I was like, nah, man, I gotta keep it stylish on my end.
It's kind of like hedging your bets, though. For me, it's explosive growth. It's good to see something that tough to be able to blow up a pot. But then again, you're 150 into that pot at least, so I know.
Oh man.
So that whale fin's very interesting. Sansevieria as a whole are very interesting. You compress them to surprisingly high light. They lose that emerald green color and they start pulling on kind of a grayer tendency. But yeah, I always tell people you can grow those things almost damn near full sun, even down here, to a closet, and they thrive.
You know what? It's funny you say that because the one you sent me, I'll show it to you once I'm done. The one you sent me, that's the only reason I'm not putting it, the variegated one, the one that the only reason I'm not putting it in this pot as well is because I have some astrophytum seedlings growing in that pot as well because I can water that one all year round.
Yeah. Yeah, so the color tendencies on these change quick depending on the lighting conditions that you put them in. That emerald green absolutely will become a little bit more grayer. Some people prefer that, and that's true with the Zeylanica. That's Masoniana, the one he's putting in right now, the whale fins. But the other one, the more slender one, gets slightly taller, and yeah, you can press them to full sun. People think it's a shade plant, even down here. You got to be careful planting these in your yard, though, because they will spread like wildfire. I tried pulling them out before, and those rhizomes dive deep enough. You think you got the plant, you don't ever have the whole plant.
Yeah, and this plant is native to the Congo of Africa, the Democratic Republic Congo of Africa, to be exact. And if you look them up and Google them, if you see them in nature, they can really, like, he ain't lying, they could take over like a weed.
Yep. If you don't have concrete curbing down here or like specific areas, these things will run through your yard. I mean, it happens in the back corner. They get chopped down with the lawnmower and still keep sprouting back up. I mean, that's when you can tell a tough plant. When my lawnmower hits them and 2 weeks later I got new sprouts, like, yeah, zero efforts involved.
Yeah, buddy. Are your whale fins in the ground or yours in pots down there?
Variegated ones are in the ground for grow out right now. So people out in California are paying like $200 a plant for those things. The variegated ones, I got them both in yellow and white. The white's far more rare than the yellow, but imagine this plant with some heavy striping inside of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show the one you sent me, and as soon as I'm done with this one. And Bill, stay on standby because we're bringing you in hot as soon as we're done.
I'll start putting a little bit of soil in here myself.
I got you. Then I'll be able to entertain the masses. Oh yeah, that joint will be fire. My goodness.
So I got to adjust for these two different lengths right here. This one's going to be far shallower here on the right side, my right. And this one's going to be a little bit deeper on that side, and I just added too much soil to the other side.
Do you think will those get thicker under the soil or no?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, it may get obnoxiously thick with how tight this is. So the reason he's pounding that in like that, what that's doing is allowing the smaller kernels to kind of filter in around the roots. We're not cramming our hands in there too much to disturb things. Just a nice little gentle tap like that allows it to filter through the root masses and kind of fill it in. You don't want air pockets, but you also have absolutely no reason to compress that soil inside of a pot. It's very different from nature with free root run, wherever it can go in the ground. You want to do this softly. There's no reason to condense your soil. We want well-draining soil for a reason.
Yes, indeed. And then I'm going to lightly top dress it with some gray shell rock. That's just for cosmetic purposes. It doesn't serve purpose for helping the plant. I just like it the way it looks cosmetically.
So example of top dressing right here, some of this crushed coral stuff that I use. It's not doing much. It acts as a little bit of a water retention, but so much, when it comes to stone, it's really, or shell, it's not really retaining much. It's more about a decorative piece kind of thing. I use a lot of just plain terrestrial looking gravel. Also this pea gravel you see right there. And for me down here, we got so many lizards. They love to dig in these pots. They'll lay their eggs in there, and then these damn tree rat squirrels. They are always, my neighbor gives them peanuts all the time. They love to hide their peanuts. They have a memory like a goldfish, so they just start digging randomly all over the place, thinking they might have put something in there. But if I don't use a top dressing, they will uproot my plants quickly. Bantel's sensation is the slowest ever. Your 5 species of sansevieria, black Zulu is the most prolific. I'm loving it. I'll share some more stories. Probably pot some of these up soon. Those white whale fins are incredible. I don't know what I said. Did I send you white ones or yellow ones?
You sent me the yellow.
Yeah, the Landscaper 15 brings up a good point. So when we're lifting these things obnoxiously, not so much with what he's doing right there, but when I'm lifting these, when I'm repotting these, this was the old soil line. I'll probably creep that up a little bit higher. You're absolutely right about the stabilization of the newer plants, and you can even mound that up around the trunks. Set this in here.
Yeah.
Mound it up around the bases. So again, I'm not watering my plants in, especially these succulents. So I'll mound that up around the base. Those newly exposed roots can get sunburned. So I will slowly take that gravel back down, and that'll allow the sun to not burn them, but yeah, acclimate them slowly. And it's absolutely about a stability thing. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right. Oh yeah. So now we got some group activity happening here. This is the great shell I was telling you about. Just a nice little cosmetic look to play off of this. I don't even know what color to really call it. Of course it's blue, but it's like a dark olive type blue. This is giving me a little contrast to that. And as you can see, we got one half of the family on this side. We got the Masoniana family on this side. Now, let me show you the one Ryan sent me.
Notice how he left a little bit of a lip there too. Please do that. If you stack that gravel up to the top of the edges, it makes watering that thing way more pain in the ass because the water will run right off the edges. You want a nice little lip there. It's for a reason, not only just to grab the plant, but to retain the water. You don't want it pouring out over the edges.
Exactly. It also allows for good aeration too. I don't need it choked out. It's gonna have time to breathe.
Yeah, there you go. These ones came from my yard down here. I set this up to you, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, and it was just this piece. The rhizome actually goes all the way back to about right here. And this is a fresh new leaf that came out, I believe, last summer or over winter. You can see the stripe, you can see the variegation in it. Over time, it'll get more and more, it'll get more and more variegated. Let me finish what I was about to say. But I've been exposing this to high amounts of sun, and as you can see, it's doing a little bit of charring on the foliage. So I'm gonna shade this up a little bit more so that it can stop getting so much evening sunlight because it's starting to do a little damage on the foliage.
Yeah, burn can set in quick on these things. But yeah, damn, that's looking good. You got another one coming up right there?
No, this is an astrophyte.
Oh.
This one, and I got one here as well. And then I also got I got an obesa. Oh, I'm sorry. I got an obesa coming in right here.
So you're just tossing seed from, is that your seed or is that coming from Island Obesa?
No, that's mine. I just toss them in whatever plant I can water through the winter. I just toss my seedlings in there because it makes it easier for me to keep up with the watering schedule.
What's right? Haven't heard foliage in a while.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Well, Welcome back. Hey, we used to do this shit weekly a couple of years ago when we were all shut down with quarantine and everything. Seeing how we're part of with a couple other people doing rants lives every week when we could. And I miss that shit. We should get everybody together again.
I hear you. I hear you.
No, I sent this to TR. Where's TR? Somebody send this out to T.
All right, how you was looking on that side? Brother T Breezy. Let me sit this to the side.
I see Pilea Plants and Things just joined. She's incredible. Always over at the greenhouse. Handful of people I'm meeting down here in the plant community. Nice. All right, I'm going to lower mine up and get mine in here real quick.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I can keep up with these comments. Haven't heard. Hey, y'all, pal. Pilea Plants and Things. What's good with you?
I think I saw her once this week, once last week. She's at the greenhouse all the time over there at the nursery I work at.
Okay.
She's a very gifted grower. She's got a little mobile plant bar. It's kind of cool. She'll pop up in your spot with a little trailer. I've seen her at flea markets in town. She pops all around. Not doing those markets as much anymore, but incredibly gifted grower right there.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, we're going to get this in. I put a little bit of soil on the bottom. Let me turn this. So I'm working in a condensed area back here.
I've never heard of a black Zulu sansevieria, Trey. You have to put me into them. Let me know what that is.
All right, so I'm finding this is going to be out if I keep the soil level in right there. Just
okay.
Again, real quick.
Oh, so you gotta send that the longer side deeper down in there?
Correct. Yeah, this one's got to be a couple inches deeper. I filled them both evenly, and that wasn't going to work. It's going to be this one up there.
Okay.
So I'm really just going to be focusing on this left side first before we enter this right side. I just need to be deep enough to get these roots in. All right, that's getting better. Trying to be as gentle with these as possible. Again, I'm not watering this in afterwards. If I create any nicks or roots into these, or nicks or cuts into these roots, the chance of rot spreading goes through the roof dramatically. It's usually why I set these out for a week in the carport to callus off. And again, I'm treating any of those cuts made to the roots with cinnamon. It's cheaper than rooting hormone. Not that rooting hormone's all that expensive, but it really doesn't do much in the way of producing roots for you, in my opinion. More about an anti-rot aspect.
What I'll end up doing in particular is leaving it outside. We may get rain tomorrow, so it may pick up traces amount of rain from there. If I feel like it's too much, I'll end up pulling it inside. You do kind of like want your wounds to heal before you start exposing these plants right back to water all over again.
But that's not true of tropicals. So most of your other plants, your fancy foliage, you water that shit in. Not with succulents. I'm telling you, you'll have a better experience.
Yeah. Let's make sure we're being specific about that. It's not the same for sucking.
Hey, you know what I need right now is a set of chopsticks.
You know I got them on deck. I keep chopsticks on deck. I keep a chopstick nearby. You never know when you're going to need one. It's a essential tool to repot. Speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up. Appreciate that, Lashrey. Let me send these chopsticks down in here now. This is how you dishevel the soil around the root base so that you can fill in the nooks and crannies. Fill in the gaps with soil so no roots are, no air pockets are there.
Yeah, you don't want to create a false bottom, and you don't want to have too big of air pockets in the middle of there. So I'm gently just feeding this in. There's really no pressure. It's just getting this down in there.
Pretty awesome, man. Jet black. Yeah, that's why. So when you said Zulu and I saw you type in black, I was like, I gotta see what that look like. Jet black. Oh shit.
This is
Jet
just a
black.
branch from the oak tree above it.
Ceiling light. Oh wow. Yeah, definitely send me a picture. I gotta check that out. To my heart's level. Yeah, same. Always, once you're done repotting, tap. I call it earthquake in the pot. You want to earthquake that pot till you feel like the soil has filled in all the gaps. And usually what happens is you'll see if you fill up to the soil line and start hitting on the pot, you'll start to see your soil line drop down even lower because it's filling in gaps as you earthquake the pot. Man, that joint is fire. That look like a dope pair of ceramic boots going on it. Yes, indeed. And remember, people, make sure that I always recommend you hit up your nearest thrift store, find you some vessels, find you some chopsticks, find you whatever tools you think you may need when it comes to this repotting action. You never know. And if you're a cactus and succulent or just a cactus enthusiast, make sure you got you a pair of leather gloves on deck. And for those more intrusive agaves or spiny cactus, you may need you some welding gloves. I have a pair of each.
All right, I don't have much in the way of top dressing over here today, but I do have some really tiny leca that I think will pull off this kind of earth tone look with this pot, at least temporarily. I'm getting some new top dressing in at work currently. I've got some 5-color stuff I'll have to show you. See, it's pretty cool. It ties in some like aquamarine colors, some white, some weird stuff. It'll go up front in that big pearl from seed that I did recently. But yeah,
these are two different.
I'm not pressing this shit down, guys. There's absolutely no reason to. We're giving them little smacks.
The top dressing you were just talking about, these are two separate top dressings, or this is just one? They come like mixed up.
All right, let me back this thing up again.
Did you hear me?
A little bit further.
Hey Ryan.
Yo.
The top dressing you was talking about, is it two separate top dressings or this is a mixture?
This is just going to be a solid little leca.
No, the one you said you had at work.
Oh, the top dress. So we're selling a 5-color at work. It's not a mixture. It comes already pre-mixed.
Okay.
This is the shit I'm using today. This is just mini leca.
Oh no, that's gonna be dope. That should work just fine.
Gives me that earth tone kind of look. There's not much weight to it, so the security of the plant is a little bit questionable, but the way this fit in there, I'm not going to have to really worry. He's in there pretty good.
Don't forget some cardboard, a bath towel, kitchen Hey, I use it all. It's not a joke. You do need kitchen tongs. I use it all. My work bag for repotting is actually down in my trunk in the car. I use it for house visits, but you need an assortment of tools because you never know. You got to be unorthodox when it comes to this repotting business. Trust me on that. So yeah, you're gonna need a kitchen tong, a bath towel, a leather robe, and a smokers only jacket. Bro, hey, let me get a close up on that. Let me see that top dressing now. Let me get a close up. Oh yeah, I rock with it.
Again, I'm thinking that's probably just temporary for right now. The exact structure of those little balls versus the natural look here, this Groot style pot. I'm not a big fan of how perfect this is. I'd like a little bit more gravelly approach.
The color hits just right though. I will say that.
Yeah, the color's there. It's just the texture and consistency is a little too perfect for an imperfect potting.
Oh yeah, that joint is fire. Clancy Pat said it looks great, Ryan. Fire, parent. Fire. More fire. Booyaka. All right. With that being said, let's get the man, the myth, the legend in so he can talk some of this ceramic action. And he may have some pots to offer y'all fresh off the presses.
To watch this thing today, Z and I have been talking about doing this for a while.
Yeah, we was having a few scheduling technical difficulties. All right. Now he sent it on his end. Let's see.
Yo, how's little Z doing at the track meets?
Oh man, he been killing it, man. Getting ready for high school not high school graduation, grammar school graduation. We're getting ready for high school. I gotta get a bunch. Oh, there you go.
You're working.
Hill.
What's up, brother?
Nice. What's going on?
Oh man, nothing much. Everything is smooth and lovely. Nice, good weather we got going on today. Perfect day to pot up some stuff.
Yep, absolutely. That looks amazing, Ryan.
Hey, thank you so much, Bill. This is incredible.
It's unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
Quite unique.
Here's an even better question. What made you make that style of pot?
I don't know. I made a pot and then it was kind of leaning, and I'm like, should I make another structure to support it? So, it's stable, wind's coming by, it's outside, and then it just kind of morphed into a idea of doing two pots leaning into each other. And then I posted on Instagram, a lot of feedback. And then, Ryan reached out and says, I got a double rooted plant that would be perfect. So we went ahead and made a custom fit that plant.
Within hours of the app.
Yeah, he was messaging me while I'm sitting there making pots, and I'm like, I'm just going to knock this out. This is too exciting. So that was my next project. And yeah.
Oh, because I sure was going to say maybe you had another one on standby just in case the first one didn't work.
No, he sent me the dimensions. It looks like it's pretty tight, though. We might have to revisit building a larger one even next summer, probably.
Hey, that's just fine for me. It's only actually going to blow these out even more. With that tight constraint like that, it'll thicken up fast.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, and look at how I can do this with one hand now. I don't have to be sitting there juggling both. Like this is.
Yeah, I know that had to be irritating.
Who was it?
So
that commented pants for your plants. That was hilarious. That was a comment in the original reel he posted. It does look like pants for boots.
Well, making me want to get back into the plant show circuit.
That's definitely a specimen that everybody would stop and look at. Like, that's just not something you see. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, so Bill, for some of the people who may not know who you are, man, tell them a little bit about yourself, how you got into ceramics and whatnot, and what you got on the horizon.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to jump on here with you guys. You guys need to keep and continue this. I know it kind of fell through the wayside. You guys aren't on there every week like you used to be, but that was entertaining. I'd jump on every week if you guys get back on this. I already learned some stuff. I think I have about 6 adeniums out back, so I'm still learning on those. But I started pottery in 2021, so only going into my 4th year now. As soon as I started collecting cactuses, and I started buying all these cool pots, and I started looking at them going, man, I would love to learn how to do this. And once I jumped in, there was no turning back. I was addicted every day, playing with clay, quickly advanced into buying a kiln. So I jumped right in. I knew it was something I was going to do for the long haul. So that's kind of how my journey started, was just collecting cactuses and succulents, and then the need for, pots that I wanted, ideas that I had. And of course, it morphed into people seeing my pots and wanting to buy them, so that helps support my plant habit. And then, of course, recently, just stressed out in the corporate life, I decided I'm going to take a break from corporate life, and I'm just going to make pottery. So the last couple of months have been amazing, being 100% focused in on pottery and doing all kinds of things. really.
I wouldn't have never guessed. I would have never guessed you started in 2021. I promise you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. That's what I knew when I first started it. I've always had, a very creative mind and always building stuff, creating stuff. First time touching, clay though, 2021. And like I
Hey,
said, perfect outlet.
congratulations. Your page is blown up. I remember, so
Yeah.
Z and I started back in the day. We've always kind of had similar amounts of followers. I clicked on your page the other day and I was like, damn, this guy's got double what we've all got.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
the community.
yeah, sometimes it happens like that, man. You just never know when something's gonna take
Well,
off.
I've
But
learned a lot in the process of posting your stuff up there. I've gotten so many DMs from people that you have sold to in the past. Bill is the best, hands down. I mean, it's nothing
I
but
don't know about
praises
that,
for
but
you. People love your work. A lot of them are Arizona based, but I had no idea how big you were until everybody started flooding me with Bill's the best.
well, thanks. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great masters out there, and I'm glad that you compare me to those and say I'm the best, but I'm still kind of humble and learning every day. But yeah, the great thing about this is, the marketing, it's genius because you send your pots out there, people love them, they post them and repot and tag you, and then it just kind of snowballs from there with people, customers. So this, as far as a marketing standpoint, this is a very great place to be as far as free advertising.
It's an incredible little partnership. You got people like myself or Z with some crazy plants, even you yourself. But I appreciate you hooking me up with this pot. I mean, I did spend money on it. Bill did hook me up absolutely for what the value of this pot is. But yeah, it's literally creating partnerships with Plant Life and the masters of
Yep.
doing the pot work.
I
It's
will say,
there's nothing like custom. But you know me, Z. I used to grow everything in plastic grow pots because they were free. And it started with the vintage. It started going down the rabbit hole with the thrift stuff and everything else. And now commissioning custom pots, man. There's
That's the
I
levels.
will,
Yep.
I will say, and that's what I was about to say. I've bought pots from some of everybody on Instagram. Bill, his pots is 30, but not only that, it's fairly priced. I will say that. I
Yes.
feel like pricing wise, he ain't hitting you over the head, and he's willing to do custom work. Because you got some people like to take a break to do something custom. Sometimes that might not be on someone's agenda. So even to get something custom made, it's fairly priced. Y'all should really hit them up and let your imagination go where it's gonna go.
I appreciate that. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I try to keep in prices fair, especially as I'm learning. I want to get my, pots out there and keep them affordable at the same time, and still try to make a living and pay my bills too at the same time.
So you're
Right.
doing all this with hand. There's no wheel involved up to this
I do
point,
have a
right?
wheel. I don't throw much on the wheel, just because I like the asymmetry of the hand build.
That's what attracted me to
Yeah.
it, and instantly.
Yeah. Not that you can't do asymmetric work on the wheel. It's just, I don't know. I just like the hand building. I do have plans to get on the wheel. I can't do much this summer because my garage gets to 120 degrees, so I can only be out there for a few minutes. So that's why most of my work is hand built, because I can sit in air conditioning in my studio in my home.
I don't blame you. 120, man. That's 10 minutes. I'm out of
Yeah.
there.
Well, I need to rip
Jeez,
the carpet
Louise.
out of this room that I'm in now and just make it an official studio, and I can pull my wheel in here and work in comfort. But Arizona outside and garage is not a good place to be.
It's difficult for me to film up front anymore in that south-facing sun. When we're over 90 degrees, the heat index is up to close to 100 already. I mean, we're not even into summer yet, but my phone overheats in about a minute, so I've got to keep things short and sweet. I'm actually out back right now in the shade. I know it's not the best lighting, but there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the back as well, man. Like I was so glad we decided at 11 because if it would have been anything earlier, I would have been sitting right here getting cooked.
Yep.
Well, and so, Bill, I'm sorry, you're over there. What is it? 10 o'clock in the morning over there?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock over here now. Yep.
Yeah. I still struggle figuring out time zones.
I forget sometimes too. But real quick, Bill, if you have any pots that you want to show off, that people may be willing to put some bids in on since we got you here. If you got anything you want to show, this would be a good time to show it. And people, if you want to, if you thinking about getting your hands on some pots, he may have some to show right now,
I wish,
so we can get you.
yeah, I wish I did. I didn't come plan to have pots. I actually have about 80 pots, but they're all tagged and priced for Palm Street, which I'm going on in about 6 hours. I go on every 2 weeks, Sunday at 4 Pacific time, 7 Eastern. So I have them all pictured.
You going
already
you going
loaded in
today?
Palm Street. Yeah, yep.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hey,
6
tag
hours.
me in some of those stories. We'll put them up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my next objective, is to get a reminder out there in my stories. So yeah, so I'll have a link to it in my stories here probably shortly, in a half hour or so.
Well, hit us up.
Awesome.
We'll definitely put the word out if we can. I know we're still little on here, but congrats to your following. It's insane, and the work. I mean, it speaks for itself, man. I'm absolutely blown away.
That's super cool.
This.
That's so cool. Yeah, you got to get that show, Ryan. Most unusual,
definitely.
for sure.
Shit, half the stuff he got in his yard can go in the show. He needs to start just do it. Go enter those into some contests, man.
Yeah, I used to be in the plant show circuit working all the time. I've seen some cool stuff, but yeah, I've never actually entered a show ever in my life.
Oh, you're there. You got some specimens.
In Ohio, it was silly. We used to go and look at them at the Ohio State Fairgrounds every year, and what was winning and being like a 4-inch jade. And I'm like, this isn't competitive.
Yeah. Hey,
that's Ohio.
Them jades. Yeah, but people. I've noticed that people like to go with what they familiar with too. So us personally, we probably be like, oh, that's a jade, whatever. Then your common person to come past and be like, man, they'll lose their mind over a jade. So I tend to now when I'm putting out product, when I go to pop-ups, some of the exclusive stuff comes for your occasional collector you might see, but a good majority of it is aloes, jades, and soft succulent stuff of that nature that people are familiar with seeing. I promise you, it'd be the first stuff that go.
Yep.
Well, especially the way you stage them, you take it to another level too.
I do what I can. I do what I can. Oh man. But yeah, we don't want to hold you up, Bill. I know you said you got a big event coming up. What was that?
Gunshots, fireworks, who knows? I'm in Florida.
Oh.
It's Sunday, gunshots.
Yeah, but definitely tag us in whatever stories you put up, man. We can share them, and we'll get the word out. And next time we do this, man, we're gonna have you hop on again. But I'll give you the heads up so you can bring some pots, because I know some people out there with some itchy fingers on their wallet.
Yep. Awesome.
Yo, those auctions do really well too, man. I've been a part of them for a long time. So I was showing off some of the stuff Z sent me in the past. But these auctions get nasty. If you get your hands on something you want, like I said, just some basic stuff, but really cool vintage pottery things. You're finding these. Shit, you guys got like 3- and 4-story thrift stores down there, right?
We got one in particular that's 3 stories.
Like a damn mall
that I can think of
vintage thrifting stuff.
I haven't been there, but I know exactly what you're talking about. We got that. The Goodwill is my go-to. So people, don't ignore the Goodwill. You can come up like crazy. But when I do reach out to get stuff specially made, it's because I'm putting my personal plants in them. And I put personal plants in thrifting vessels too. But when I got something like if my imagination saying you need to get something handmade, then I go that route. And
I got some bills to spend.
Who? Oh, yeah, man. It comes in handy. And not only that, I try to tell people, man, you don't always want to see your stuff in regular nursery pots. That's just me, though. I like to look at it and see the textures and see the color differences. And my first pot that I had got from Bill, Lil Reese sent me, and I think I had a bursaria. I had my bursaria in here, one of my bursaries, and it didn't come back to life for me after winter. So I ended up taking it out of here. And so far, I haven't figured out what I'm gonna put back in here yet. But I'm definitely going to call Disreform for this one.
That's awesome. Yeah, she reached out to me. She goes, "Do you have anything purple?" And I'm like, "No, that's not a color I use." And she goes, "Come on, make me something purple." So I went and mixed up and found a recipe. I made some purple, and so that was a true custom.
Yo, I know.
Oh, this is nice.
I know what could work in that thing, Z. That Baronia
Dorstinian.
I sent you.
Oh no, no. Where was that at? Oh, so I got it up top. That's already in the hand. I told you I bought some from some of everybody. That one is already in a handmade pot. I'm not taking it out of there for a while.
I
But
still got a buddy who's bugging me that I sold that one to you. He's like, "Man, I wanted that one so bad." I was like, "He's my guy. I gotta send it to him."
maybe we'll be able to talk about something else you got down there in that yard of yours. Because I've seen a few items.
Plenty. I'm not selling as much on here anymore. It's too damn busy all day. But when I need the extra cash, we need it.
I see you got a few.
Ryan, what's hanging over your head? What's that tropical that's hanging right behind you?
1 second, y'all.
This guy is Philodendron Brazil.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got a handful of stuff back here. My backyard's more shady. I don't show it off very much, but I like the fancy foliage stuff as well. In fact, I got a Australian tree fern I'll bring over here if you guys want to see it. This is a rehab project I've been working with for a minute. I love these tree ferns. I've killed off a couple of them because I'm not really that good or regimented with watering things, but this one's popping good. I'll grab it right now.
Not a butter. We were just talking about you. You must have heard somebody tagged you or something.
It's an Aussie tree fern. She can grow 12 feet tall. Instead of, it looks just like a palm tree, but with these intricate ferns. I love Australian tree ferns.
Yeah, that is cool. That would probably not live here in Arizona, though.
She needs shade, though. I got some other stuff. This is a real little one. This is Petey. Petey's Pots by Pablo in Cali. I got a mess. I'm literally operating out of like this little tiny spot right here in my backyard.
Z, did you see Not a Butter just joined here? She heard you, I guess.
Oh, Reed, who sent you the live? We was just talking about you.
Yes, I'm in Florida. Whoever just asked that one.
Speaking of Florida, here I'll show you these other whale fins that I haven't potted up yet. This joint, the joint says about 3 feet tall. Got this from the Cactus and Succulent Society. Do you remember any of these though?
Yeah, those are all those Madagascan mini euphorbias I sent you.
Wow.
Cap St. Mariensis, all that stuff. Capmanum betoensis. Those went to somebody else. You're into it, man. I don't know. That's not for me.
Yeah, man. You know, it tickles my fancy. And here I'll give you a shot of the. So let's head to the upper room so you can see some of the fat plants.
He just takes over everybody's deck in the entire apartment building.
Damn.
Yeah. You remember the Lemuria?
Oh yeah. Damn, she's getting big. I remember you reached out to me. You were thinking about this one for a while. The cost was up there. That's a beauty. There's a little Romulosa, regionally specific. There's the Baronia Windsori.
Yeah. You see, I put this shade cloth out now because so far the sun been cooking them so much that they ain't leafing out the way I want them to.
Yeah, you're still young though. You're just waking up. Damn, man, your shit's growing like crazy.
Shockingly though, I've been letting go a lot of stuff, man. I've been trying to get this collection. I'm trying to home it into a certain amount of plants. I don't know what number that is because I stopped counting a long time ago. But I'm trying to let go. I didn't let go a lot of personal plants at some of my pop-ups. The only reason I haven't been doing stuff on Instagram is because I've been busy with Lil Z and stuff he got going on. and I'm not even in the mood to try to ship none of this stuff right now. So if you don't catch me on in person, it's usually still here.
I'm giving away lots right now too, purging some of the old agaves from up front. I don't want to ship. It's just coworkers and stuff that are taking some things off my hands right now. It got insane, man. I got up over 600 individually potted plants. I do this for a living. Coming home, doing this till 10, 11 o'clock at night in my own yard got a little too much. I don't want to burn out, man. I've always been on the edge of burnout, and this is my passion, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that's great advice. Absolutely.
Well, and I'm
Same
sharing
here.
too. I mean, I will give away $100 plants sometimes if it's been with me for a while. If I want somebody else to enjoy it, if I know they're genuinely interested, and it gives me somebody else to speak on or talk to about this stuff. There's nothing more I enjoy than nerding out about these plants. Yep. And I've been really lucky, man. A newspaper reporter came by recently, wrote up an article on me in the greenhouse I'm working at, and people are starting to realize that we're doing this at a different level down here, man. It's nice to be known as the Desert Rose guy in this Tri-County area.
Yeah, man, that's real dope.
Well,
real dope.
I'm missing a plant show today, actually. So I just got back from a consult. There's a brewery going in 3 blocks down the street from me, and we're going to be staging some specimens on their picnic tables for them. I'll do a video later today. The work he's got going on over there, it's called Flamingo Bay Brewing Company, but it's 3 blocks from my house, and they're going to get some of the sickest patio plants on their beer garden you've ever seen.
Hey, Bill, anybody that puts a brewery 3 blocks from Ryan, let me tell you, business is going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
On the weekends, not during the week, on the weekends.
Only on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I take
locations
Sundays and Mondays off. I love it. That's my time. I get my Monday beach day. Sundays we usually mess around a little bit too, but yeah, it's I take my 2 days off and I take them very seriously. It's much needed.
Oh, I'm jealous. You post the pictures in the ocean, man. I miss that so much. I need to.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's how
the jealousy is through the roof.
Yep.
Every week, that's my reset spot. It's needed.
Yep. Yeah. It's awesome.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you guys for both joining me. I'm going to get out of here. I got some shit to do this afternoon, but it's been a pleasure. Z, thank you for hosting this. Bill, it's a pleasure to see you, meet you face to face for the first time ever.
Yep, awesome. Appreciate it. You guys need to do this more often.
No, we're gonna cook up some more, man. My Sundays is starting to mellow out a little bit, so I'll be able to get some more of this action going.
Good.
And we're gonna link up. And like I said, I'll give you a heads up next time so we can have some pots ready too, because I know people gonna want some.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Everybody have a great Sunday.
Yes, indeed.
You
Till
as well.
the next time.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Later. Excuse me.